Salaam Alaikum. Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies.
The Houthis, that's one of them from Iran. The Hezbollah, that's from Iran. Okay. Hamas is not from Iran, but Iran funded Hamas, for their destabilization projects. You get me? So Trump is not going to invade Yemen for a couple of reasons. First, as we mentioned, he's a real estate and a money laundering guy. He's not a nation building guy. The second thing is that we're witnessing the end of the empire, not the beginning, right? So this is the last stage of the American empire. You get me? It's the last stage of the American empire. The American empire is really not interested in enriching Europe at this time. The only benefit that controlling the Gulf of Aden would have for Americans is to send resources back and forth to Europe. Right? But you might be asking, well, what about the oil from Saudi? Saudi is in what we call peak oil. That's why Saudi is changing so rapidly. Y'all ain't catching the joke, okay? Y'all think that Saudi is just changing rapidly because they don't like Islam. No, they're in peak oil, okay? Their oil is finished, and the oil oligarchs are no longer looking towards Saudi for oil. Rather, they're looking towards Venezuela, Guyana, and Alaska. Right now, they ain't interested in Saudi no more. But the problem is that the US dollar is pegged to Saudi oil. That's why it's called the petrodollar. And there are trillions of dollars all over the world that are going to end up coming back to the US, especially after this election, because you have the BRICS nations now, which is going to cause a massive economic collapse. That's coming for sure, 100%. 100% that's coming, okay? So when the brother Mr. Middlepap, he's talking about, Saudi Arabia becoming independent. Well, yeah, but the other things that are going on, right? The reason why they're expanding and broadening is because they want to diversify their income, because they understand that the oil wealth, those days are finished. Those days are gone. The oil is finished. They get that. That's why they're diversifying so hard. That's why MBS has been given the reins to do whatever he wants, because the sons of King Abdulaziz Al Saud, they're all old. They're like 90s or whatnot, and you can't run a country like that anymore, right? So the king of Saudi Arabia is Salman. He's the actual king of Saudi Arabia, but he's not running anything. He gave the reins to his son Muhammad. He gave the reins to his son Muhammad because they understand what's coming. You get it? So if anything goes wrong with Yemen, and things are going wrong with Yemen right now, they're absolutely going wrong with Yemen. Donald Trump is not going to send military, nor any president. I highly doubt any president will send U.S. military to Yemen to deal with the Houthis. I highly doubt that. If they were going to do that, they would have done it years ago, even before this thing that's going on with Israel. But what they will do through the military industrial complex is that they will just continue to sell arms to Saudi Arabia to try to quell the Houthis. They will continue to do that because, number one, it's much more profitable. Number two, you will not have the attrition from the U.S. citizens from, nation building. And number three, your own citizens don't have to die for your cause. You get it? The guard is changed. The guard of power is changing right now as we speak. What we're witnessing again is the end of empire, as I mentioned before. The U.S. empire is on its last legs. White supremacy is on its last legs, right? Global white supremacy is on its last legs. And a new age of digital feudalism is now here. The only country right now that is interested in World War III happens to be Israel. And there's not possible for them to do it on their own. They can't do it. Even what they're doing right now, the reason why they're bombing Palestine, bombing Lebanon and whatnot, and they will eventually end up bombing Syria. The only reason why they're doing that is because they don't have the numbers to do a ground invasion of any of these countries. They just simply don't, which will require participation from other countries, especially the US. And Donald Trump, like I said, because he's a real estate guy and he's a money laundering guy, he will quickly start real estate projects to benefit Israel as soon as he gets into power, very quickly. All right. So Sister Tika says, because Guyana got more oil than Venezuela. What I think the US will do is because, again, the oil oligarchs right now, their power is waning. It's slipping. And they will try to put their own people in charge of Venezuela and Guyana. The Guyanese president, he's very pro-Guyanese. He's very about his people. So it's going to be very difficult to sway him. So if anything, they may convince the Venezuelans to attack Guyana for that oil. And mind you, Venezuela has oil. They already have oil. And the people are starving. But your shell corporation, U.S. shell corporations, they're the ones who are impoverishing your South Americans right now. So, no, I don't believe that Donald Trump will attack Yemen. And I don't believe that even any U.S. president is interested in attacking Yemen.
Paper gold. You see, black folks are chumps. If America were to tell you to bring all the rocks in this country to her, and she'll give you $1 million for it, you'll do it. And the next day she'll tell you we're using rocks for currencies, chump.